All right, guys, welcome to tonight's call. I am pumped. I know there's only three of us on tonight so far, but I know there's going to be a lot of people watching the recording. I know some people had kids and stuff like that, and soccer practice and all whatever the hell's going on. But I wanted to change up the topic tonight. I know we had in there talk about ownership. I know we had in there talk about just about like taking true ownership of your business. But I've been getting a ton of questions from coaches talking about like just asking why aren't things happening, and like how many of you guys, like Deborah, Roxanne, like how many of you guys have ever felt like, why isn't this happening for me? You guys ever said that to yourself, right? Like, and that's kind of the thing that I wanted to chat with you guys about. It is mindset tonight. So as you guys are listening, I want you to really think to this. We're going to talk about mindset and comparison and beating negative self-talk, and we're going to talk about. Ooh, someone's unmuted. Oh, Erica's there. Hi, Erica. How's it going? And we're going to talk about more about mindset tonight than we are about ownership. And the reason for that is because without the proper mindset, you can't take ownership of your business, right? And I've been getting messages from like everyone in this group saying like, you know, why isn't this happening? What's going wrong here? And posts in the group talking about like, what's going wrong with this? And so how many of you guys have ever done that? You've pushed, no, that's all right, Erica, no problem. You've pushed for a goal, but you've come up short. How many of you guys have ever felt that way, where you push for a goal and come up short? Anybody? Good. And so I want to give an example from my personal business. And our team missed Elite 2 times in a row. 2 times in a row, we missed Elite. And we pushed really, really freaking hard for it. Okay. And I remember saying to myself, it was January 1st of 2015, this is our year. Right. And I thought like if our team would hit Elite, we'd be so incredibly happy. Like things would be amazing. And I set that goal along with my success partners. And we pushed and we did everything we possibly could to make it happen. And December 31st, 2015 came around. And we woke up a 5-star diamond team, but we missed Elite by less than 5 points. Less than 5 points. So close. And I was really proud of the team and like really proud that I could represent them on stage, walking across stage at Summit as a premier team. But there was that voice in my mind, and I want you guys to ask yourself this if you ever felt this way, this voice in your mind that says, you could have done more, or you should have been more, or you failed as a leader. How many of you guys ever felt that you failed as a leader, or you don't deserve to hit diamond, right? Like, and shit, guys, like it hurts, right? Like it's like a weird mix of proud and devastated at the same time, right? Because you're pushing hard for a goal and you're proud of your teammates, but you're devastated that you didn't get to where you want to be. And my voice in my mind, like just beat the crap out of me, because at the same time that I didn't hit Elite, all my partners, all my success partners, hi, Ollie, how you doing? My dog just walked in. All my success partners did. And like people that I personally mentored did hit Elite. And it was, I remember at Summit, it was that same blend of proud and beat up. And I thought to myself, right, like, why aren't I as good of a leader? Why is it so much easier for other people? How many of you guys have ever said that about your business? Why is it easier for other people to hit diamond than it is for me? Right? And so that next year, I dealt with it. That next year, 2016 came around and we went for it again, right? We claimed at the beginning of the year and we went for it. We fought with everything we could to make it happen, and we worked hard. We fought for it. December 31st, 2016 came around and we had dropped 3 ranks and we were not even close to the Elite points. So not only had we missed the rank, but we missed the points too. And my business had gone downhill, just like I told you guys in the welcome call. And there goes all my success partners crushing Elite again. And there goes that same little voice in my mind saying, why aren't you good enough? Why aren't you as good of a leader as those other people, right? Why have they been able to do this and you haven't? You're not as good as them. But one of the things that I really worked on, and this is the reason why, if you're a dick to yourself mentally, I really want you to take amazing notes on this call, put everything else away, like get off of Facebook, get off of anything else, and just take notes in your notebook. Because if you have a negative mindset consistently, this could potentially change the course of your life. Because what happened in my mind over the course of 2016 is I had grown, I had changed, and I had matured, and I learned how to beat that negative voice. And so what I'm going to teach you tonight is how to beat negative voices in your mind. When you're going for big goals and big dreams, they come up. And when I fought really hard all year, 2 years in a row, and we come up short and then we miss it by a long shot, like, you compare yourself. Have you guys ever compared yourself to another coach in the Diamond Group, or compared yourself to another coach just in general? Right? You've compared yourself, right? And you come up short on a goal and you feel pissed off or worthless or hopeless or bummed out. And anyone ever felt that way? And, you know, like, one of the things that I think is interesting, or like, maybe you have coaches come onto your team and you're really excited for them to do well, and then they disappear. And then you go and you see other coaches come onto other people's teams, they're doing really well. And you're going, what the hell is going on? Right? Or you've been working really hard at something and working for so long, and someone new joins the business and just start crushing it right away. And you're like, dude, this isn't fair. Right? Or you've been part of a Push to Diamond group, right? And you see other people having success, other people hitting Success Club 1020, and you feel like you're working just as hard, but you feel like you're not as good, or like you're missing something. You ever felt that way? Right? I felt that way too, guys. I felt that way too. And let me tell you, every single bit of that leads to comparison. All of it can get you off course towards your goals. Right? And it takes the fun out of what we do, and it hurts emotionally, right? Like, that shit hurts emotionally. It hurts to feel like you're not as good as someone else. It hurts to feel like you're more talented, but you're not seeing the results. It hurts to feel like you have this drive and desire for something, but you just can't quite get there. Right? And it hurt me when I was pushing for elite, and I would see all my friends hitting it, and I would come up short, and that little voice goes, you just weren't good enough. And I felt that more times than I can even begin to express to you guys. And it hurts. But the reality, and this is kind of the big point, is that it doesn't frickin' matter. It doesn't matter if it hurts. Because, guys, I talk about this every time I speak. Pain in your life is guaranteed. I can promise you that. Pain in your life is guaranteed. There's going to be shit that happens and it really, really hurts. Pain is guaranteed, but suffering... Uh-oh, my internet seems like it's breaking up. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Hello? 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 Can you guys hear me? Bueller? Bueller? Start waving at me when you can hear me. Uh-oh. Well, that's not fun. In and out. Okay. You can hear me. Okay. Woo! Okay. That's exciting. Okay, awesome. So my point was that, and my face is frozen. Awesome. It'll catch up. I hope it catches up. If it doesn't catch up, just type in the chat box that it's not working, right? And I'll just be a robot the rest of the call. But what I was trying to say is that pain in your life is guaranteed, but suffering from pain is your choice. And I hope you take that home and really internalize it. Pain is guaranteed in your life, but suffering from that pain is your choice. Staying in that state of mind is your choice. And you can look at it as in one of two ways. You can say they're better. You can say that you're not good enough. You can say that you don't deserve this. Or you can celebrate their success and choose to make it mean that it's possible for you too. But sitting there and comparing yourself will take everyday fun out of what we do. And when you take fun out of what we do, guess what happens to your invites? No one wants to be part of what you have going on because they can tell in your invites that you're not for real. Right? That you're more focused on getting someone than actually serving and helping them. Right? It leaks off into your posts. When you're comparing to other people and you're thinking you're not good enough, it leaks off into your posts and what you say and what you do. Right? So whenever, I guarantee you guys that it leads to burnout in your business. And I've faced burnout in my business before, where I felt like I was working so hard for something, but I was getting no results, and it made me want to quit. Right? And I just felt like I was putting in all this time and nothing was happening. And I was staring at all these people, seeing what they were doing, and they were continuing to do the shit that I'm supposed to be doing. So they're getting all the results, but I'm spending all my time staring at them. Right? If you do that, you are going to burn out and you're not going to have fun, and it's going to leak off into everything you do, and then you're going to be wasting your time. And all those people that you could have been inspiring, all those people that could have connected with you, all those people that want to be part of your life, they are not going to feel your energy. They're going to tell that your heart isn't fully in this. And because of that, they are not going to say yes to you. So it means that we literally control what we put out there and what we get back. If we're comparing to other people, if we're focusing on them, it means we're intentionally saying that I'm going to tone down my energy because I believe I'm not good enough. That's what comparing does. And it's okay if no one's inspired by me. That's what comparing does. Guys, comparison is an act of violence on yourself that you're choosing. It's an act of violence against yourself. Those people that are watching you, right? Or sorry, those people that you're watching, those people you're comparing to, they have a totally different history. They have a totally different market. They have a totally different past. They're not you, so quit focusing on them and run your own race, right? I want you to focus on your vision, where you're going, not the other coaches. If I were to spend my time looking at Jesse or looking at Tanya, or looking at Shayna or Alicia, do you think that I'd be motivated to do what I do? No, I'd be dogging it every day. I'm not looking at them. I don't stare at what they do. I don't even follow their pages, right? I literally follow 0 Beachbody coaches pages besides my new coaches. 0. Because I don't want to compare to other people. I am looking how to share my voice. I'm looking at who I can inspire. I'm looking at retiring her from her job, right? I'm looking at changing someone's life. So comparison is a thief of joy. It doesn't allow you to focus on your goals, and it takes your eyes completely off of where you're going and focuses on the car that's driving next to you. And when you're going 80 miles an hour towards a dream, but you're staring out your window the entire time you drive, guess what's going to happen? You're going to crash and you're going to fucking burn. And it's not going to be fun. So I want you to watch your road, wherever you're going, and quit worrying about other people. Worry about where you're going and who you can inspire and the message that you have inside of you. That's what I want you to share. Don't look like Erica, don't look at Deborah and say, what's she sharing today? Roxanne, don't look at Erica and say, what is she sharing today? Share what is on your heart, because that's what people will connect with. So that helps with comparison, but there are still slumps sometimes, right? Like still mental and emotional slumps. How many of you guys have ever felt a mental or emotional slump in your business? Anybody? Raise your hand. If you lie about this, you lie about other shit too, right? And so there are times where you don't control your mindset. Times where you feel totally weak or totally hopeless. Times where you know exactly what you need to do, but there's that lack of drive inside you. How many of you guys have ever had your computer staring at you, waving at you, telling you to invite from across the room, and you're just sitting there staring at it and you don't give a shit, but you care so much at the same time? Like, you know that you're going to regret if you don't invite, but you don't give a shit and you just want to watch Game of Thrones, right? Like, you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, where it just feels like you're trying to force yourself to do it, like you're trying to force a fire to start in the middle of a hurricane, right? Like, and you're just pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing, but no matter how hard you push, it just feels like there's no energy to give. Yeah, Netflix, right? I just feel like there's no energy to give, right? I have been in that spot. I've been in that place, and that's where stuff like personal growth is so important. Because you guys need to understand that in this business, when you learn to think correctly when you're down, and that is a skill. It is not something some people have or some people are born with. It is a skill. When you learn that you can develop at any time if you choose to, if you learn to think correctly when you're down, it's going to be a way shorter period of time before you get back up and you have that fire lit again. You're talking to someone, guys, that was the king of comparison. I thought I deserved all this success because I knew someone that created a workout DVD, right? And my business crashed and burned. I'm talking 2.5 years of ego-driven, selfish, negative self-talk. And I would find myself in these groups where people thought I had all the success, but I didn't. And I compared myself to them. And when you have this recognition and you think that your shit doesn't stink and you have this big ego and your business is in the dumps, and you're standing around all these incredibly successful people, guess what you do? You compare. You compare to people. So I've been in that comparison spot, and I thought about quitting. I went into one of those negative slumps, and I thought about quitting. And I all these things came into my mind, like, they have it easier. Why does this always happen to me, right? How come all these people say no? How many of you guys have ever said that to yourself? How come they always say no? Or why does this always happen to me? Or how come I'm never that good at this, right? And all those thoughts ran through my head like this uncontrollable river that I couldn't stop. And it happened multiple times a week. Like, you know that feeling where you're doing really, really well one week and you go from A to B, you get to Emerald, whatever it is, and you're killing it, and you're killing it, and then you're pushing really hard for, like, you get right up on the brink of diamond, and then something hits the oh shit button, and you self-sabotage yourself in whatever way, right back to Emerald, right? You come right there, and then something just comes out of nowhere and gets in the way. And one of the coolest things about it, guys, is that it is within your control, and that it is your fault that it's happening, which means you can control it. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. But I'd go from A to B, and I'd be really excited because things are going well one week. And I work to get from B to C. And right before I hit C, I'd self-sabotage and go right back to A, right? There's this big, massive wall of self-sabotage where you could reach out to that really awesome person, but you choose not to. Or Netflix gets in the way. Or I'm going to choose to not follow my meal plan this week because of all these whatever bullshit excuses about traveling or whatever that you have going on, right? I had to learn how to adjust this, my thinking, so I could break through C and finally get to D. I had to learn how to adjust my thinking so I could get out of those slumps faster, right? And I worked so hard on my mindset. I focused on personal growth. I invested in Tony Robbins, and something interesting started to happen. Those periods of stress and anxiety and depression and overwhelm that I faced multiple times a week. How many of you guys have felt that? Anxiety, depression, overwhelm, stress from this business. I faced them multiple times a week. They started to happen once every week, then once every 2 weeks, then once a month, then it was once every 3 months, then it was once every 6 months. And now they still happen from time to time, but when they do happen, I know how to course correct like that. Those are the cobwebs of your business that you're going to have to get through. You are not a victim to it. It is not something super special that only you have a problem with. Depression, anxiety, and stress about this business does not make you special. That makes you normal, right? You have to get through that shit yourself. Those are the cobwebs of your business that you'll have to get through if you ever want your why to come true. How you think when you are down determines how long it's going to be before you get back up. I give myself a 2-hour rule. I'm working on getting it down. I allow myself to bitch and moan for 2 hours, but after that happens, I'm done. And I get back up and I work hard and I adjust my mindset with what I'm going to teach you next. So people ask me all the time, dude, how are you so happy? Right? Like, how do you just seem so bubbly all the time? And I'm not perfect at this. There are still times when I get down, right? And I share about those times openly. But what I want you guys to know is that I've trained and figuratively rewired the way this works to respond to situations differently. So I'm going to tell you how I did it so that when you face it in your business, you can take not only ownership of your business, but ownership of your mindset. So every morning, I do an exercise called priming. I've told Erica about this. Raise your hand if you've heard me talk about this before, right? Priming. It is just one of the most easy things to do, but easy not to do things. It takes 15 minutes of your day. And what it does is it focuses on getting to a place of true gratitude. And guys, if you don't have 15 minutes for yourself, you don't have a life. You have 15 minutes for yourself, right? If you want to cure comparison, if you want to cure pain, if you want to cure depression, if you want to cure anxiety, get grateful. It is impossible to feel pain if you are truly grateful. And I can respect it when you're in those states of mind where you're already in the dumps and it's very hard to force yourself to feel grateful. This exercise makes you go there, this priming exercise. And I'll post it in the group after we get off of this call. But I want you guys to close your eyes for a second and do this exercise with me. Every single person on here, close your eyes. And I want you to remember right now the worst memory of your life. Positive talk, Brad. Worst memory of your life. And I want you to put yourself in that situation. Just be there for a second. Keep your eyes closed and be there in the worst memory of your life. What negative emotions did you feel? How shitty did you feel? What happened that made you feel so horrible? Keep your eyes closed and shake your body out a little bit. Shake your body out a little bit. And now I want you to remember with your eyes closed a memory from your past that you can feel deep, true feelings of gratitude for? What's a moment in your life? Was it when you had your kid? Was it when you started at your full-time job? When you got married? Was it when you bought your first house? Was it the first time I said I love you? Was it when you found out you were pregnant? What is your favorite memory from your past? And I want you to put yourself in that situation right now. And I want you to breathe the same way you breathed in that moment. What did you feel? Let the emotion come to you. Just feel it. What did you feel in that exact moment? That memory from your past. Where were you? Who were you with? What did you feel? What did you think? How did you react? What created that smile within you? Feel what you felt then, right now, like it's happening. And just take a second and be so grateful that it happened. So imagine where your life would be if it didn't happen. Imagine all the circumstances that came from it. Why are you so incredibly grateful for that memory? Just take a second and appreciate it. And realize that life is pretty amazing. I want you guys to open your eyes. When you were thinking about that positive memory and being grateful for it, did it even cross your mind that instant smile? Yeah, did it even cross your mind what that horrible memory was? It didn't even cross your mind anymore. You didn't even focus on it. It wasn't even a thing anymore because you were grateful. It is literally impossible to feel pain if you're grateful. I intentionally just proved that to you by making you go to a place in your life that was incredibly painful and then switch it to a moment that you can be grateful for. So you literally just proved to yourself that anytime you're depressed, anytime you're sad, anytime you're anxious, anytime you're overwhelmed, if you make the choice to just pause and just be grateful for something in your life, it goes away instantly. If you do that every day, your life changes. That's what that Tony Robbins exercise forces you to do, right? Like I always give this example. If you wake up and your spouse is rushed to work, they don't give you a kiss goodbye, and you don't get a chance to eat breakfast, so you're starving, it's bumper to bumper traffic, you get in a fender bender on the way to work, you get there, your boss is pissed off that you're late and makes you stay late that day and gives you extra work piling up on your desk. And then on the way home, right, it's you got to take a cab home because you got in a car accident, your car's getting fixed. You get home past the kids, when the kids go to bed, your husband's all pissed at you, right? And you got to wake up and do it all again the next day. That's a pretty shitty day. Would we agree that's a shitty day? But let me ask you this. Would your entire day change if the very first thing you focused on when you woke up every single day before your feet even touched the ground was, today is an amazing day to be alive? There are people in this world that don't know how they're going to find water today. There are people in this world that don't have a job, that are homeless. There are people in this world that don't get to see their kids anymore, right? Like, if you just take a second to appreciate life, appreciate all the things in your life, even if those same circumstances happen, you will still smile through all of it. And when you still smile through all of it, guess what happens to your day? It changes for the better. You just altered your perspective. How would your day go differently if you focus on gratitude? True gratitude, not the bullshit, I'm happy for this TV and this phone and, having a roof over my head, but real gratitude where you feel it. How would your happiness change? And you won't notice these changes happen overnight, but if you consistently focus on being grateful, your brain will start to rewire itself. Right now, if you're consistently depressed or anxious or overwhelmed, it's not that you're stuck there. It's just that you've done it so much and you're rewarded by it in some way that your brain automatically goes to that place. If you force yourself to be grateful, your brain will start to rewire itself and it will start to think differently, right? Like your view of life literally determines your future, right? So every single day, condition your mind to focus on being grateful, and slowly, anxiety, depression, overwhelm, fear, it's not going to be there anymore. And you're going to become excited every single day. your spouse is going to be wondering why you want to have sex so much, right? It's like things like that happen. Crazy shit goes on in your life where you just have this magnetic energy, right? And you might be someone who is anxious and might think this is bullshit. That's cool. You can stay in that spot if you want. You might be someone that claims they're a depressed person. And you might be saying, Brad, you don't understand. And you're right, I don't understand right now. I haven't felt real depression in a long time, and I respect you very much if you feel it, and I wish the best for you. But all I'm saying is, why the fuck are you tolerating staying there? Why is that okay with you? If there is even a chance that gratitude works, wouldn't it be worth practicing? Even if it's a 1% chance, wouldn't it be worth practicing every single day? Because what's going on right now, is that working? Right? Like all stress means, guys, if you're stressed out, all stress means it's a code word for fear, right? And yes, Erica, Untethered Soul, 100% agree. Amazing book. But guys, if you're stressed out, it's a code word for fear. Stress means that you're associating the meaning that something's more important than it really is. That's stress, right? Overwhelm. It's just fear, right? That's all it is. Overwhelm is just fear, and it means that you haven't picked a priority, right? If you're overwhelmed, you got a list a mile long, it means that they all have equal priority, which means you have no priority, which means your mind is going, what the fuck do I do first? And then you're going crazy because you don't know what's going to happen if you don't do any of them, and then you go into shutdown mode. A to B, B to C, self-sabotage right back to A, right? That's overwhelm. Pick a priority. There's your solve, right? Perfection, right? If you're living in trying to be perfect, right? If you have that mindset, you're totally screwed. Because perfection is the lowest possible standard you could have in your life. It's impossible, right? Even doing the minimum is better than perfection. All this stress, it's just a code word for being afraid of what might or might not happen. That's all it means. You need to train your mind like you train your body with these workout programs and condition your mind to work this way. The guy that you're talking to had a victim complex most of his life. Right? I grew up in a very verbally abusive childhood. And I was wired to think that life was happening to me. But from practicing this, I learned slowly that life was happening for me. And when I changed my mindset in that way, life exploded. Right? I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. Right? I trained my mind and rewired the way that I think. And now my default setting is happy. It used to be sad. Now it's happy because I did this. So I don't care how much of neurotransmitters of serotonin and dopamine you don't have in your brain, right? The quality of your life is always in direct proportion to the quality of your emotions on a second-to-second basis. Because guys, in any moment in time, you can be upset about literally anything. Because what's wrong is always going to be available to you. You can always find something to bitch about, right? What's wrong is always available to you, but so is what's right. Really think about that. Push against your problems instead of giving into them. I love the quote from Tony Robbins, problems are literally just the resistance that you push against to sculpt the character of who you are. That's a problem. Only people that don't have problems are dead, right? You just proved to yourself today that you control your emotions in any moment in time because you went from going from the worst memory of your life to being deeply grateful in a matter of seconds. If you practice that every day and you make the primary emotions of your life the ones you actually want, your life will change. And when you view your life as amazing and extraordinary, it doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone around you, and people want to give it back. They want to be part of your life, right? So that's comparison and that's mindset. But I want to go through an exercise that will help more with the idea of diamond. And we've talked about comparing. We've talked about gratitude. It's amazing, but this is a process, and I want you to think like, okay, I've gotten through those things. Now I'm laser focused on what I want. There's still part of your mind that plays tricks on you, right? Where that forcing a fire to start in the middle of a hurricane. And that happens when you become, Erica's done this one with me, when you become attached to a goal. When you become so attached to a goal, that goal coming true, from diamond coming true, needing it to happen, emerald coming true, success club happening, 2-star happening, retiring your job, where you become so friggin' attached to it that it literally pushes away what you want. How many of you guys have ever pushed so hard for diamond, and the more and more you fought for it, the further and further it seemed away from you? You guys know what I'm talking about? Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. We're going to beat that right now. We're going to beat that right now, because that is a mindset shift. It has nothing to do with the goal being hard, right? Diamond's 8 people. It's not the goal, right? I found myself pushing so hard for elite and had this mindset of, I need this to happen. I'll finally be happy if it happens. How many of you guys have said, I'll finally be happy when I hit diamond, right? And it just goes further away. And when you have that mindset of, I'll finally be happy when I hit diamond, or this needs to happen, and if it doesn't work, I'm so screwed, or this must work right now, or I'm trying so hard and it has to work, it has to work. When you think that way, and your happiness is dependent upon you hitting a goal, like you'll be happy when you hit diamond, and you come up short on a goal, which guess what? Newsflash, in business that happens. How do you feel when it's an absolute must happen? How do you feel when you're not happy unless you get there? You feel pretty shitty, right? You feel like your self-worth took a little bit of a hit, right? And let me guess, A to B, B to C, right before C, self-sabotage, right back to A. All right? The reason it's happening is because you're skipping the entire first part of success. You're refusing to accept the past and what's already happened. You're refusing acceptance of what is. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. I want you guys to take out a sheet of paper. I want you to write on that sheet of paper 2 big circles. One on the left and one on the right. 2 big circles. You guys really do this exercise and focus on it, it could change your entire life. On the left circle above it, I want you to write my story about what happened. My story about what happened. Above the right circle, I want you to write the fact. So, let's talk about diamond. How many of you guys have ever come up short on diamond, no matter how many times you try, and there's all these stories playing around in your head? And so, I'm going to say a bunch of them that probably have come into your mind, and I want you to write down any other ones too that come to mind as I'm going through this, that go through your head when you miss diamond as a goal. Like you set that goal at diamond, you come up short, or when you're on the path to it, like the stress and overwhelm of it come up. So I'm going to rapid fire through them, write down as many as you can, but also write down any that you say to yourself. I didn't have time this week. I don't know if I can hit diamond. I need this to work, and if I don't, my life won't change. I always have this happen to me where people just say no when I need them the most. Every time I try, it doesn't work. I need to do it, but I don't know if I can. But I need to do it, but I don't know if I can. Why are they able to do it and I'm not? How come every time I get so close, it just falls apart? Write down any other reasons, any other things you say to yourself when you get really close to diamond or when you're pushing for diamond and it is hard to do. All the negative stories in your mind that you come up with. Write down any of them right now. I'll give you about 20 seconds. When I see eyes look up, I'll know you guys are done. Take as much time as you need. Give it a few more seconds. Any other negative stories in your mind? Okay. So all those things that I listed off, that I said, and anything you said, obviously, but anything that I said in there, have you guys felt any one of those on a consistent basis? Raise your hand if you have. Right? And when you look at all those things in your left circle under my story about what happened, when you try to figure out how to solve that, how the hell do you even come close to figuring that shit out? Right? Like if you look at that circle, isn't it just overwhelming and intense and stressful, like to just try to figure all that out? Like How do you solve, I want it to happen, but I don't know if I can, but I want it to happen, but I don't know if I can. How do you even solve that, right? And you get overwhelmed, right? And you get stressed out. And it A to B, B to C, self-sabotage, back to A, right? You get stressed out and you shut down. When you go, all these stories are playing in your head. That's all because it is a bullshit story you're telling yourself. You're making up a story in your mind about what happened to compensate for the fact of why you are not there. That is what you're doing when you come up with these stories in your mind. But what really happened? What is the fact? The only fact of the situation? I missed Diamond Ring. That's it. Write that in the right circle. The only fact, I missed Diamond Ring. That is the only thing that is actually valid. The only thing that's actually true is I missed Diamond Ring. And which one of those two do you know how to solve like that? Right? The second one. What's the solution? Invite more people. Cool, solve your problem. Done. Right? All that stress could have been completely avoided if you would just focus on the fact of the situation instead of the bullshit story that plays around your mind. Guys, what happened, happened. What didn't happen, didn't happen. You need to accept the fact of where you are. Acceptance of the facts of your situation. You can do this for anything in life, right? Missing Success Club, you can do it for that too. It's not all these bullshit stories. It's, oh, I just didn't hit Success Club. Cool, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this, right? Acceptance of where you are and where you're not is freedom. It's freedom. Quit playing those bullshit stories in your mind. So now flip your sheet over and draw 2 more big circles. 2 more big circles. And above the left circle, I want you to label it attachment. And above the right circle, I want you to label it commitment. Attachment above the left, commitment above the right. When you're in this state of mind of this absolutely must happen or I'm totally screwed, or if it doesn't happen, you know, I'm a horrible leader, or I'll only be happy when I hit diamond, and you're focused on all these stories that play in your head, what emotions do you feel regularly? Like, really think about that for a second. Like, what do you feel on a day-to-day basis when you try to do your business? Probably pretty shitty. Raise your hand if you have felt shitty emotions when you do your business. We're going to change that right now. Right now. So when you're in that state of mind focusing on your story, I'm going to rapid fire through these emotions, but I want you guys to write as many as you can down, and also write any other ones that you can think of that you face on a day-to-day basis when you're in that state of living in your story, and focus on, I'll only be happy when this goal happens. Would you agree that you feel, let me pull my list, that you feel stress, anxiety, guilt, fear, sadness, shame, struggle, unhappy, trapped, faithless, victim, passionless, forcing, mad, angry, depressed, scarcity, doubtful, lazy, questioning, fake, ungrateful, comparison? Would you agree those are pretty common emotions that you guys feel on a day-to-day basis when you're in that story? Do you guys feel that regularly? Yes? Is that a fun place to be? Do you enjoy doing business that way? No. And so list off any other emotions that you have when you're focused on your story and being attached to a goal and focusing on attachment. What other emotions do you feel when your happiness is based on a goal? Right? Any other ones you can think of right now? You had like 10 seconds. Guys, what if you let this go? Like, what if you just decide right now that your self-worth is not dependent on diamond rank? And that if Beachbody left your life right now, you could still be happy if you wanted to. Like, obviously, it's not, and you're going to work hard for it. But if your self-worth is dependent upon a goal for you to be happy, what type of lesson is that teaching your family? Right? How is it helping you grow? What if you just chill and be okay and happy either way? What if you become really committed? That is a scary thought. But like, guys, what if you become committed to your goal? Really committed to it, but not have your self-worth and happiness being dependent on a goal? What if you were committed to hitting Diamond? What if you were committed to hitting Success Club? And what if every single day you didn't do it because you're only going to be happy when you achieve the goal, but every single day you did it because you love the process of who you're becoming? What if that's why you went after a goal? What if you love the challenge of hitting Diamond? What if you love the way that your leadership is growing? What if you become committed to Diamond instead of attached? I wonder how much ownership you'd feel in your business. Because every single day, you know you're getting better, instead of only knowing you're getting better when you hit a goal. Two totally different worlds. Like, what type of emotions would you feel if you were focused on the day-to-day? Like, really think about that. If you rewarded yourself based on you working hard that day and you growing into a better leader, you reward yourself based on the person you're becoming and the growth that you're facing in the process of a goal. Would you agree, in the right circle under commitment, that you would feel, I'm going to rapid fire through these again, write them down as you get them, passion, energy, enthusiasm, happiness, drive, health, vitality, growth, progress, unstoppable, you feel like you can, possibility, alive, belief, excitement, abundance, you'd smile again. That shit's good for you. You should try it. Like freedom, forgiveness, capability, trust, gratitude, resourcefulness, pumped up. Wouldn't you agree, when you focus on loving the process of the person you're becoming by challenging yourself, you would feel those emotions? Because it's no longer Diamond that determines if you're growing. It's your day-to-day actions that do, which means you take control again. You take back your power again. Wouldn't you agree those are the emotions you would feel on a regular basis? Yes? You're focused on the person you're becoming? So let me ask you this. Which of those two circles, attachment, all those emotions, look at the two circles right now. Look at attachment and the way that you're living. Which of those two circles, attachment or commitment, are you more likely to solve a problem from? Commitment. Which of those two circles, keep staring at them, which of those two circles are you more likely to recruit a coach from? Which of those two circles are you more likely to come up with some great social media content from? Which of those two circles make you seem less bullshitty in your invites? Commitment. Guys, when you're in attachment, a result isn't present yet. And you're completely dependent upon a result in order for you to be happy. This applies to anything in your life, not just Beachbody. But when you're in commitment, you literally get a result every day. And so when you come up short on a goal, when you miss a goal, which, guys, I've missed billions of them, instead of it being, I'm a shitty leader, you say to yourself, what can I learn from this? Why is this a good thing? How is this helping me? You get a result every day, because even when you miss a goal, it's helping you progress. And remember that feeling of trying so freaking hard to force yourself to do this, and you just don't have the energy or the want or the desire to do it? That goes away like that. And you become on fire every single day. Guys, when you are in attachment, and look at all those emotions in attachment, you're constricting energy from other people. And I bet you know it if you're doing it. Raise your hand if you're someone that you feel sucks the energy out of the room. Be honest. Anyone? Good. That's good. So it hasn't leaked off into your personality. But when you live in that state of mind and you operationally coach through that state of attachment, you are sucking the life out of other people. They're not going to want to be part of you. And I bet you know deep down if you're doing it, even if you didn't raise your hand. But when you're in commitment, when you really focus on the person you're becoming every day, you generate energy, because every challenge is a good thing. And you make other people feel amazing every single day. And then they want to be part of what you got going on. They don't even give a shit about the cost. They just want the energy you have, right? When you're in attachment, your happiness is at the effect of life, meaning life circumstances determine if you smile or not that day. But when you're in commitment, your happiness causes life in others. That is a whole new way to live, guys. A whole different way to live. It's an entire elevated level of thinking. So I want you guys to be committed to your goal, not attached. And all of a sudden, it's a lot more fun to set goals. It's a lot more fun to be a coach. It's a lot easier to work this business because you don't feel like you're forcing yourself. Every single day you love the process of doing it. We have to get rid of that voice. And I know everyone here, including me, there are negative beliefs that we have about ourselves. And if you're like me, then no matter how hard you try to tell yourself that things are great, there's that little voice back here, little voice back there that laughs at you and says, yeah, right, dude, you're still a worthless piece of shit. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like, you can't, it's not like they're in front of you. It's like they're just barely there. You guys know what I'm talking about? Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. That little tiny negative voice, right? And so I want you to raise your hand, keep it raised, or raise it as you hear this. If you've ever said this to yourself, why don't I have enough money? Anyone ever said that to yourself? Why don't I have enough money? Why am I so lonely? Anyone ever said, why am I so lonely? Why don't people like me? Raise your hand if you said that. How come I always fuck it up? Raise your hand if you said that. Why am I so fat? Raise your hand if you said that. Why is it so hard to lose weight? Raise your hand if you said that. Why am I so broke? Why can I never catch a break? Why is it so much easier for other people? Why can't I do anything right? Why am I so unhappy? Anyone ever said that? Guys, how many of you guys are assholes to yourself like that? Like really, you're dicks to yourself like that on a regular basis. Be honest, raise your hand right now if you're a dick to yourself like that on a regular basis. You say those things, right? Like, and when we listen to personal development, and we read books, and no matter how much, and not operationally the way we treat others, but the way we treat ourselves in our mind, right? Like the things we say to yourself. Like, if you're an asshole to yourself like that, be honest about it. Because I am sometimes too. No matter how much amazing stuff I fill my mind with sometimes, there's still that little voice in the back of me that says, yeah, right, dude. And no matter how much someone tells you that you're amazing and you can have success, which you can, there's still that little voice that says, no, you can't. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? That little tiny little voice. And so one thing I've learned is that my life is a direct reflection of my thoughts. And so when you set a goal, you're trying to create a new reality as opposed to your current reality. That's what goal setting is, right? But the gap between it, I learned this from the book of Affirmations by Noah St. John. It's a great book, highly recommend it. So the gap between those two places, the reality and where you want to be, is called belief, right? And until you actually believe that you can do something or have something or give something or be something, it's going to be really hard for you to create that reality. And the reason is because most of us don't actually believe we can hit our goals. Raise your hand if you don't actually believe you can hit diamond. Be totally honest. If you don't actually know, like with an undying passion that you can get there, right? That's like with elite. I don't have undying passion that I can get to elite. I don't. I'm being totally honest. I have negative beliefs about it, right? So most of us don't actually believe that we can get there. That's just the truth. And most of us don't have that fire in our bellies that says we're going to get there no matter what. And so no matter how many times we set goals or go through a goal setting workshop, it doesn't change the fact that the voice in our mind doesn't believe it's possible. So when you ask yourself a question, your brain automatically searches for the answer. So I want you to ask yourself this. Sit back and ask yourself, actually, like, close your eyes and ask yourself, why is it so hard to hit diamond? Ask yourself that in your mind right now. Why is it so hard to hit diamond? And what did your brain do when you asked that question? It searched for an answer, right? You actually looked for why it's hard to hit diamond. Even if you didn't want to, Your brain is like Google. It spits out all the reasons why you can't. So what if you reverse it? Like instead of telling yourself that it's easy to hit diamond and trying to convince your mind that you're amazing, which you are, but you know that little voice in your mind is going to laugh at you, why not just ask a different question? Right? Like your brain is going to look for the answer to whatever you ask it, subconsciously or consciously anyways. So you might as well ask it a smart question, right? Ask and you shall receive, right? Well, lately, we've been asking for shitty results. Why is it so hard to lose weight? What does our brain do? It finds all the reasons why it's so hard to lose weight. That's what we focus on so we don't lose the weight. A to B, B to C, find a cookie back to A, right? That's what happens. Why is it so hard to hit diamond? What does your brain do? Finds all the reasons why you shouldn't invite that person, why you should watch Game of Thrones instead of do your business. A to B, B to C, self-sabotage right back to A. So you never get to diamond. Whatever you focus on becomes reality. How many of you guys have ever said to yourself, I just don't want to be emerald anymore? Anyone ever said that? I don't want to be emerald anymore? When you say that to yourself, you're actually causing yourself to stay emerald. Because you're focusing not on diamond, you're focusing on what you don't want. You're focusing on not being emerald. Even if it's not what you actually intend, that's where your focus goes. Or I don't want to be overweight anymore. When you focus on that, you're actually causing yourself to stay overweight because that's what you're focusing on. Instead of I don't want to be emerald anymore, it's I want to be a diamond coach. Instead of I don't want to be broke anymore, it's I want to be financially stable. It's a small tweak that changes everything, right? We need to reverse it because our brain automatically searches for what we focus on. So instead of telling yourself that you always hit or that it's easy to hit diamond and trying to convince your mind that you're amazing, switch it, right? Like switch it to this. So now close your eyes and sit back in your chair for a second and ask yourself in your mind with your eyes closed, why is it so easy to hit diamond? Ask yourself that question right now. Why is it so easy to hit diamond? And what does your brain do? Even if it goes back to the negativity a couple seconds later, initially it focuses on, well, it's only 8 people. Focus on, I just need to hit Success Club a couple months, I'll be diamond. Right? That's all it is. Right? You switch it in your mind and your brain searches for the answer. And you find all the reasons why it's so easy to be a diamond coach instead of why it's so hard. Imagine if you filled your mind with that shit every day. Right? Like, don't change your thinking, change your questions. Live in a question. You don't have to solve it or have all the answers, but you ask yourself the right questions that lead to a better life. So with your life and your business, your homework coming out of this call is to ask yourself, what are all the negative questions you're asking? And I want you to flip it on its head to make it empowering. So instead of why am I so broke? Why is it so easy to accumulate wealth? Instead of why is my business not growing? Why is my business booming? Instead of why am I stuck? Why is it so easy to hit Success Club? Your brain is looking for the answers to what you ask it 100% of the time. So ask it an intelligent question that leads to a better life. So let me close up here, and I want to just be totally honest with you. When you face hard times in your business, which are going to happen, when you're challenged in your business, and you're at that last little piece of rope where you feel like, fuck, is this really for me? Right? You have 3 options. Option 1, you can quit. I have a cancellation form. I can send it to you. Enough coaches have canceled on my team. I know what that's like. You can give up. You can eliminate yourself from this community of growth. You can just go back to the way things were and keep living your life. That's option 1. If that's what you want, you can. No one is keeping you here. This is a volunteer army. Option 2, you can stay in the same place in your business. You can find yourself waking up a year from now, still afraid, still comparing, same exact struggles, just like I did. That's what I did, right? You can stay there. You can rationalize why it's so much harder for you than it is for everyone else when deep down you know it's bullshit. That's option 2. Or option 3, you can grow. And you can take action, and you can do something about your future. You can choose to be grateful. You can run your own race. You can be committed, not attached. You can ask yourself amazing questions that change your life. But the reality is, guys, that there's never going to be a right time to do that. Something else is going to come up. Life's going to try to get in the way. I can guarantee you that. Fears, preconceived notions, whatever it is, they're going to happen. There's never going to be a right time, but that time that you could be spending growing and contributing and giving people this gift of health and financial freedom is going to pass anyways. So ask yourself, when is now a good time to change my life? When is now a good time? Because that opportunity is knocking on your door, guys. And I want you to fall in love with, like I said, the process of who you're becoming. I want you to love every single day, but it starts up here, right? People can tell if you feel shitty when you invite. People can read it in your post. This business is not convenient, guys. You have to do some growing if you want it to work. But it's right now it's adding something onto your life so you can take something off your life. There's something in your gut that says you're supposed to be here. Right? And you're going to get faced with all those situations on this call. There's something in your gut, this fire in your belly that says, I am meant to do this. And so when you get faced with those tough times, you can quit, you can stay in the same spot, or you can face them. I hope you face them, because that's what I did. And now I'm the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. I want you guys to come back to this call, because this is how you take ownership of your business. It starts in your mind. We have the best products in the world, the best business in the world, and every single person has the exact same opportunity. The only thing different is what goes on between your ears. You don't have to have the same standards as me, hit the same success club numbers as me, but you do have to stand for something. You have to create a standard of excellence within yourself. Something, not because I'm watching you or Shayna or Alicia are watching you, because you want to change the future of your family. You aren't minimum people, right? Your coach wouldn't have said yes to you if you were a minimum person. So don't give your family the minimum. If you're going for this, make the time you spend actually worth it. If you're finding that you're wasting time on social media or not doing the invites that it takes to build a solid business, not training your mindset, not being true proof that the products work, it's the same thing as looking your spouse in the eye and telling them that they are not worth your time. Because you're wasting all this time away from them, but you're not actually getting results because you're staying in that same mental place. So if you're gonna do this, make it worthwhile for your family. And give them more than the minimum. I've made this happen. Shayna and Alicia have made this happen. It is your turn to make it happen. You have to do the shit when no one's watching. Even if those things weren't posted in the Diamond Group every day, you have to do it because you want your life to change, not because someone's telling you to, right? I want you to imagine for the rest of this group that no one was telling you the exact behaviors to do every day. What is your standard for your life? That is ownership, right? Because tomorrow, this call isn't going to be here. And after whatever the date is in September, this group isn't going to be here. You got to ask yourself, how are Shayna and Alicia and I able to motivate ourselves so much every day? It's because we have a grand vision for our life and we don't give into the bullshit excuses and we work hard on our mindset. I want you to draw a line in the sand as you leave this call. Because guys, something you need to learn, and something I learned the hard way, is that just because you signed up as a Beachbody coach does not mean you started being a Beachbody coach. Just because you signed up does not mean you started. Draw a line in the sand and make today that start date that you decide you're never going to go back and you're going to change your future. Keep it simple, right? Invite, expand your network, share on social media, run great challenge groups, invite to pay this forward. That's what we do. Your current job is way fucking harder. Like, our job is so easy. Do it with pride and do it with grace every day. And if you do that, instead of what most people do, which is shrink their dreams down to the size of their income or their business or their society that's around them, you build your income and your business to the size of your dreams, and you contribute to your family in a way that they never thought possible. And every single day, instead of waking up dependent on a goal for you to be happy, you wake up with a smile on your face because you live in gratitude. That is ownership, guys. Anybody have any questions for me tonight before we hop off here? I know we covered a lot of mindset stuff, but it's so critically important that we go through that before we actually talk about business strategy. Anybody? Anything they want to add? Anything that's on their mind? Everyone just taking a moment of reflection? Processing what just happened in your mind? Good. Okay. Well, if you guys do have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'll post this recording tomorrow. I'm going to work on my business a little bit longer before I head to bed. But guys, seriously, you have the ability to do amazing things. Circumstances don't make us special. So it makes us grow, right? So use them and change the course of your family's future. I love you guys. Have an amazing night, and I'll talk to you guys soon.